That's Drake wearing a jacket that has plenty of logos on there. For everyone who believes in the Drake curse, good luck tomorrow. They're all on there. So I didn't know what the Drake curse is. Apparently, if Drake likes a team, the team stinks.
Well, I mean,
is that?
I guess, yes, I've heard that before, but I think it's not. I mean, I feel like ever since he's been a fan of the Toronto Raptors, they've been pretty damn good. So I give him a lot of credit for going with some teams that are not necessarily front runners all the time, and he goes with some teams that got to earn their way. He's a loyal Toronto fan. I know that. I like that.
He needs to do the Snoop Dogg thing. Just wait for the team to become great and then jump on the bandwagon. That's what Snoop Dogg always does. He's a Steelers fan, except in those years when the Patriots are better. All right, the worst teams get their reward tonight because they're at the top of the draft stack. Chris, give me the storyline that you're watching the most going into tonight.
I think the number one thing is, it of course has a lot to do with the number one pick, is where Josh Rosen ends up when all's said and done. Yeah, I do believe that the Arizona Cardinals are picking Kyler Murray. And how does it all unshake as the first round unfolds, and where does Josh Rosen end up? I would expect that we get that answer before the night is over. Maybe not. Maybe it last into tomorrow night, into the second round until that finally gets decided. But regardless, that would be my favorite storyline.
Yeah, and also I'm going to be looking at your former head coach, John Gruden. He's got 3 first-round draft picks. He's got to make them count. He's already told Mike Mayock, don't mess it up, even though Gruden is the guy who's got final say. They have to make people forget about Khalil Mack and Amari Cooper, 2 guys who were traded away to get those first-round picks. I say it all the time. The whole purpose of the draft is to get yourself a lottery ticket that scratches off as a winner. When you get the winner, you don't trade it in for another lottery ticket, which is precisely what they did, especially with Mack. So the pressure is on tonight to make it count, to find another Khalil Mack. But don't take him at number 4. Don't take a pass rusher at number 4, because he's going to be compared relentlessly to Mack, who was taken number 5 years ago. So how the Raiders play this board, do they stay put with their 3 picks? Do they move up? Do they move down? Do they try to accumulate more picks? Do they try to swoop back into the bottom of round 1 and have 4 first-rounders? We'll see. But that, for me, is going to be something that is very fascinating. And, for most teams, if you're a fan of that team, they make their pick, and then you just kind of sit back and watch. For the Raiders, I mean, you're locked in all night. If you're a Raiders fan, you're going to be exhausted when this is over, Chris.
Yeah, I said it yesterday. I'll say it again. This is the most important draft in the history of the Oakland Raiders franchise. I mean, this is huge. You got a coach that's 10 years, $100 million contract. You're about to move to Las Vegas. It's all needs to be set up for something special, or at least for a team that is highly competitive when they do move to Las Vegas. So that transition moves nicely or smoothly. So I'm with you. That is certainly one of the best storylines. Another one I'm interested in, another team that's got 2 picks in the first round, of course, is the Green Bay Packers. And we've talked a lot about Giants and Oakland Raiders, but they kind of get left off of that conversation, maybe because they don't have a desperate need. They don't need the quarterback. I do think we all think they're going to be a competitive team regardless and in the playoffs or playoff conversation because of their quarterback. But I want to see what they're going to do. I mean, are they going to get Aaron Rodgers another weapon? That's one thing. I checked the rule books. He's allowed to have a good running back before he retires. They're allowed to have a run game in Green Bay. So that would be interesting. Would they flirt with the Josh Jacobs in the end of the first round? Do they get a receiver at the end of the first round? Maybe an A.J. Brown or from Mississippi, something like that. But I am truly intrigued to see what the Green Bay Packers do when all said and done.
Don't you think at a minimum they need an offensive lineman, man? Isn't it incumbent on them, after we saw what happened to Aaron Rodgers week 1 of last year, protect this guy a little bit better? He's not going to get faster as he gets older. He's your most important asset. You've got to add blockers in whatever round you find them in, but you've got to improve your offensive line, especially in that division with Khalil Mack, with the Vikings defense, with Trey Flowers now in Detroit, and the Lions trying to get better. You've got to protect Aaron Rodgers in these very expensive twilight years of his career.
Yes, you definitely do. And I know there's been a lot of talk that maybe that's what the Packers do at pick number 12 and all that. But I just look at the Packers and go, I don't think they're desperate to need a first-round offensive lineman. I'll say that. Second round, I think there's going to be some guys there that certainly have some value. But, yeah, I get what you're saying. saying. I mean, with Balaga at right tackle getting up there in years, and he's been hurt a few times, they got to start thinking about replacements. But they got a guy in Jason Spriggs, who they drafted out of Indiana 2 years ago in the second round, I believe, who I really think is the heir apparent there. You know, they signed a Billy Turner in free agency because really their biggest issue on the offensive line last year was right guard. I mean, they had some of the worst right guard play in all of football. So I could see that being a possibility, but I, as a fan or somebody who evaluates, think there's some greater needs there. Get another difference maker on the front seven with pick number 12, and get an offensive weapon at pick number 30 is what I'm kind of rooting for the Green Bay Packers to do.
And by the way, the Simms draft watch party tonight, if you're in or around New York City, Treadwell Park, 62nd Street and First Avenue. I have refused to even mention this because you didn't invite me. Oh, yeah, thanks. You're inviting me. I'm in West Virginia, and it's tonight. Thank you so much for that invitation.
Jump on a plane, take your 2-hour trip, and drive to Pittsburgh Airport.
On draft day.
Yes.
You want me to travel.
I
on
do.
Draft day.
You could paste and copy and snarky comment from Treadwell Park. Don't worry. And we'll throw some tequilas back.
Why didn't you invite me at 7 o'clock tonight? It's the same thing. I can't do it. Not that I would have come anyway.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.